dream come true, so I hope you like what I do. I'm Penelope, and I'm the founder of Barrier Breakers, a charity founded many moons ago. To rewind a little bit, I'm actually at heart a musician. I left home at 17 and went on the road with a bunch of dodgy bands, which is quite fun. But I really love jazz, and that was what I kind of privately got on with and developed. And I ended up in New York City, spent 6 years there playing with my own band, composing, with sextet and my stuff. It was brilliant. The only problem was I had an abusive husband, so I had to get out of there and I had to come back to London with nothing but my music basically in my bags and nothing else, in a very sort of situation where I wasn't in a fit state to go and perform anymore. So I figured, okay, I will start a charity. So that's what I did. I started Barrier Breakers to take music workshops out to disadvantaged young people. Well, I was trying to sort out what the heck I was going to do. And it was this work that kind of then changed my life, really. Because what I realised was that I was trying to work out what barriers to creativity were on a very personal level. What were the barriers that I'd experienced personally? And also when I came back to London, I didn't want to be part of the jazz scene, which, to be honest, I share here, is completely sexist and very different, I realised, to actually the New York scene. So these are the kind of barriers I became very interested in, hence the name of the charity. But in taking the workshops out to the young people, what I realised that was very exciting was that while I was teaching them about music, I was inputting this information into them. What was actually happening was I was creating an environment, or we were creating an environment, I should say, where something else was coming out, and that was what are called soft skills. I don't know if you're aware of the differentiation between hard skills and soft skills, but basically hard skills are knowledge and information. So if you like coding, that's your hard skills. You don't intrinsically know how to code, you have to learn it. Soft skills are inherent stuff, human stuff. And I became very interested in the fact that these are the skills that these kids were actually displaying. They'd come into a workshop, jumping off the wall, completely distracted, not wanting to learn anything, and by the end of 3 hours they were being creative, they were listening, they were communicating, they were doing stuff that I don't think they thought was possible. But I wanted to know how to manage these skills, and these are now called the 21st century skills because they're so important to all of us. In a time of rapid change, these are the skills we all need, and we're not being taught in schools. They're not even being taught in universities, and employers are absolutely desperate for them. I mean, the statistics are amazing. So if you can give these skills to disadvantaged kids, you're going to really help them to step above others who maybe have degrees, because this is what you need to survive and to be happy, and to be successful at work even. So because of this interest, I've spent a decade researching what it takes to do this, putting it into action, doing a master's, doing loads of case studies, and then putting it into work with a good couple of thousand young people and also women in the criminal justice system. Those have been parts of 2 areas of interest. It's entirely voluntary based. We have got funding here and there, but a lot of real sort of voluntary work goes on. And this methodology is BBM. That's what it does, and this is the basis of this game that we're now wanting to develop. Got money from Innovate UK to do a feasibility study, which was great. Haven't got any funding for the next stage, which is doing the prototype. And at the moment, getting funding to do workshops with girls, because it's an online game for 15 to 18-year-old girls. So the basis underlying this game is this methodology. The methodology is about 5 barriers that block all soft skills. So essentially it's going through a journey of going through these 5 different areas, which are very distinct and very different. But there's a game on top. It could ultimately be for all different groups. I'd like it to be for, say, ex-offenders or for boys or whatever. But I'm very, very interested in working with girls. Just, for example, over the last from 2009 to 2014, in those 5 years, the rates of depression and anxiety in girls went up like something like 50% or something, whereas it didn't change for boys at all. There's something very, very bad going on that I think needs to be addressed. And if you look at things like in leadership, the statistics are just crazy. And you give girls these kind of skills that they can counter the kind of barriers that we all come up against. And I'm also very excited by the fact, I didn't realise till I started to do a bit more research how important it is that women in tech are equal, because tech is so, it is infecting every area of life, and if we don't have equal voices there, then we're really screwed. That's how I feel personally. The pilots that I've done with girls about this game had some nice comments. It's amazing, I love the ideas, it's so useful, it's very different, interesting, it's great for us to do this kind of thing. I like thinking about what I really want, about who inspires me. It's all these kind of, the response we've had has been really hugely enthusiastic. So there's the 5 underpinning these areas, but it's a game, it's a virtual reality, and I'm very open to ideas about what this is going to look and feel like at the moment, because I want it to be just a prototype. It can be very skeletal. It's just going to have enough interactivity that the next stage somebody's going to buy into it. I'd like a tech company to buy into it and give us money to build it. Maybe they'd be guilted into the fact that they're not doing enough in terms of equality with women. They might, so who knows? Hey. So in terms of what it would look like, the design of it, that I'm very open to. And but I imagine it would be something like, it would be walking into virtual reality, where you'd have the foyer where you would have all your own stacks, you'd have rooms to go into where there are forums, where you could actually go and have video rooms, you could have virtual theatres and all the rest of it. But the meat and potato of it is these 5 different levels that we go through. Backward focus, which is about leadership and knowing yourself. Level 2, inward focus, about relationships and communication. Level 3 is about confidence and dealing with bullies. Level 4 is about structure and time management. And level 5 is about creativity and imagination. There's an awful lot behind all these 5 things, but these barriers, but that's not for now. But what sort of the essence of it is that each one of them has 8 representative soft skills. And so you'd be going through this journey, going through the door, if you like, and through this journey, you would have these 8 skills that you would be developing, and you'd be doing this by getting interactions that were going to be about these skills. You wouldn't necessarily, you're not going to know it as you're going through, you're just experiencing stuff. So the 4 interactions are to do with inspire, play, inform and act. So you get stuff, you'd be giving or getting inspiration, you'd be having play stuff, you know, quizzes and fun things. You'll still be teaching or learning. And then information, research, and then actually doing stuff, whether that's online or offline. And obviously there's safety issues here, but I think that's a given in a way. The inspire thing is kind of key. One of the things we want to do is to involve women who have done inspirational things, whatever that is, whether that's starting a company, whether that's having ridden a bike across the Sahara Desert. It doesn't really matter, but stuff that's going to inspire girls to do things that are outside things they might really thought possible for them, and to get them to contribute by way of 90-second videos. So it's like approaching whoever to get them to contribute videos, which and then become more involved. So for example, you might have an author who gives a video, a 90-second video about why they do what they do and something that changed their life. They then contribute to maybe books, maybe they do contribute to a mentoring session. So there'll be more involvement, or maybe they do a book reading virtually or something. So there's stuff going on that's, this becomes a hub, which is why it's called the HQ project. It's like a centre. During each level you'd be earning kudos points for watching the video or for doing all these different activities. When you complete the level, you'd earn a badge, which is like one of the Mozilla open source badges. I don't know if you know those. So you can earn a badge that you can then prove as for employers or for educators or whatever, that you've got these skills. and then obviously if you complete your 5 levels you would graduate. So as I say, the feasibility study's been done, and the goal now is just to complete the mock-up. It's got enough interactivity to tweak somebody's, to really get the concept across. Obviously the content side of it, we know, we've been working with for 15 years, and we've got people involved, and we've got these girls involved who are then becoming part of sort of our advisory board, running all these workshops that we're doing, mainly in Haringey. So needing volunteers to help come up with this kind of skeletal but still sort of dynamic and appealing thing that's going to intrigue somebody to put money into making it a going concern, and that hopefully will then be able to reach a lot of people and also become central to our work, I think, because I think it's a good way of us actually reaching a lot of people through with the methodology. So that's it. I hope it's of interest.
Thank you.
Do you want any questions now?
Yeah, I have a question.
Yes.
So our goal is to be one of the main goals for the organization is open source. So if we take up the project and do it, where can we usually host it under our GitHub page in Women Hack. So is that okay for you to put it there?
Yes.
I mean,
I see it as being a way of, because I'm not, I think when things go to the next level, things will change anyway so much. So in a way it's an opportunity for people just to try out their own thing, to using it as an experiment.
Okay. Is this an idea that you want to safeguard, or is it okay to be out there and get
the methodologies? Well,
maybe we can put it. Okay.
I don't think there's going to be anything there that would need to be, because it won't be a completed thing. So on that level, I think it'd be fine.
Thank you.
Can I ask a question as well? So what you want out of this is not really a fully functional iOS or Android app, but just sort of a prototype to see how it works and test it out with your existing group and see what they think about it, and how they use it, and then tweak it, and then go from there.
Even less than that. I think it's more like getting a prototype that would then get somebody involved in actually developing it properly as a sort of a going game, an online interactive website. Get Google involved.
Like, think big,
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's hairy and it's audacious, but I think but I think it could. That's, to me, it's coming up with something that's going to appeal to somebody who then say, okay, yeah, we'll give you, I don't know, 500 grand or whatever, to actually do to do the real thing, to be able to actually to put it out there, make it available.
Nice. So you mentioned you want this to be a virtual VR, virtual reality. Is that set in stone, or?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
No, completely.
I think that's the ideal, right? Because they're really good approach. I'm guessing. I don't know.
It's like a play. It's like a getting in the sandpit really, in a way, with it. Here's the concept. Here's the there's certain parameters that have to be kept because it's content. But other than that, completely open to I want the ideas.
I guess it's more that, because we have to think about our skill sets as well, and I don't know who has experience with VR here, and what you want out of the prototype. Is it does it need to sell visually, or is it that you just really want to try put these thoughts onto something that's slightly visual, just to kind of make sense of all the concepts?
Yes, I think that's really. I think it's not trying to sell the sort of tech concept of it, but it's using the tech in enough way to get somebody so that they would go, oh, I get that. So if it's sort of just a skeletal thing of maybe how you would go into this world, whatever it is one of the 5, and then what you would do in one little bit of that. So you're just sort of seeing tasters of what happens. Whether it was, I like the sort of the Bumble and Bumble house, which is just that sort of very graphic thing, which is I think it's very cool online. And that's not at all sort of virtual reality, so I'm really very open.
I just have one question. In all these years of running this charity, what did you see as a huge barrier for girls in coming up and doing creative or anything? Is having, yeah. So like a major, like a,
well, confidence.
okay. And
I think that's the biggest, and I think it's getting worse
yeah.
in a way in my experience.
Okay.
I mean, I'm very pleased that there is now a conversation about it, because I think for many years there wasn't. I think it was like women were quite silenced about saying it's a problem. But for me, and that's the biggest problem that I've seen, and the biggest change that can happen is when it's confidence.
Is there a particular reason for it? Is it society or it's a cultural thing or yeah?
I think looking at the research, social media is not helping, should we say.
Yeah.
You know, it should be in a sense, but it's really not, and it's silencing people, and so that's why in a way it's trying to get a space, and I think getting a space is away from the kind of pink pantomime of being a girl, you know, the very, like if this was going to be developed, if there was advertising, say, involved with it, it's like no clothes, no makeup, no, forget all that, just let's try not look at the external all the time, you know. I know there's girls in Haringey that I know didn't even know women worked in the city. You know, even in London, they don't know that. You know, the horizons are really narrow. If you ask them who inspires them, they're having to scratch their heads and they'll come up with, you know, your obvious kind of pop stars. You know, they don't know. Maybe Malala, that's about it. But, you know, so it's like trying to feed in stuff that will inspire and make them feel confident that they can actually take on them and do different things.
So what part of Haringey do you do your work in?
Been doing, well, over the years, all over the place. Just recently done pilots at the 639 Centre. You know,
I live in Haringey.
actually on Tottenham, on the high road.
Okay.
639 Centre.
I live in Tottenham.
Well, it's the main youth
You
centre.
just said that the girls that you speak to that are not women make to see. It's really
Sorry, say it again?
You said the girls that you speak to there don't know that women make to see.
No, that was actually an article that I was reading from people I work with. That was they'd taken them mentoring
Okay.
those ones, which was
a couple of weeks ago. I bumped into a girl I grew up with because I grew up in Hackney, and she's a school teacher and she teaches in Haringey. And she's like, oh, what do you do? I'm a software engineer. And she's like, what's that? What does that mean? And I'm like, you're a teacher, you need to expose your students to this sort of stuff. She's like, well, I don't know how to expose my students to this sort of stuff. Does that make sense?
that's why it's
That's
exactly it's a great example. That's when you see your little video would be there. You see, I'm a software engineer, and then if the girl listens to the video, she then goes, what's that? Click. Listen to it more. How can I find out more? Deeper into it. You know what I mean? And that's the sort of thing. Just exposing kids to stuff they haven't even heard of.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So, just to quickly explain what's going to happen now, even if you're not necessarily